and every day we kept seeing Jeremiah 29:11 pop up somewhere. And such a cliche verse, but such a good one. And just every time on Christmas Day, that was the verse that we read. It popped up in the sermon at church the next week, and it just kept popping up. And me and my group of friends there were like, in all of this time, like, we thought that this struggle was gonna pull us away from God, but really it's pushing us near Him. My name is Maggie Hudson, and I'm from here in Lexington. Growing up, me and my family all went to the same church, Trinity Hill. My parents started going there before my brother was even born, so we've been going there for like 26 years now. So I was born into the church, and it's really small, so I was really close with pretty much the whole congregation there, and we all knew each other. And I was super involved in my youth group. I loved going on retreats and mission trips with them, and my faith has always been pretty strong. I did confirmation when I was like 10, and church has always been like a super big part of my life. So 6th and 7th grade were pretty like easygoing. I had just gotten into youth group, and I was kind of in that mindset, like, I'm following Jesus now, like, hardships won't happen, just kind of in an innocent way. And my 8th grade year, my grandmother, who was also my best friend, passed really unexpectedly. And so that was kind of the beginning of a rocky journey. And I got diagnosed with anorexia when I was 13, shortly after my grandmother had passed. That definitely made things get worse than they already were. So I struggled a lot with suicidal thoughts and anxieties, and ended up going to treatment my sophomore year of high school for the first time. And it was 4.5 hours away from here. I was 15, so it was my first time away from home, really. But it was a Christian-based treatment, and my faith definitely grew there. I even had a best friend that I made there who, going into treatment, she was actually an atheist. But when we left a week later, she got baptized. So that was a really cool story, and still being able to keep in contact with her 4 years later. And throughout high school, I missed most of school, just kind of being in and out of the hospital. My sophomore and junior year mainly. And then my senior year, I got a serious boyfriend, and things ended with him right before college last year. And so when I thought things were going well, they turned out to not be so much. And then college came, and it was what I had been waiting for what seemed like forever. And I ended up relapsing really bad in my eating disorder. And from December to May, was in treatment again of this past year. And I learned so much there. I learned more about myself, more about loving Jesus and who He made me to be. And while it wasn't a Christian-based program, we did have church twice a week, and the girls I met there were absolutely incredible. I guess the main promise that God has kept in my life is just Him promising to be here through it all. And even when I don't see it or feel Him, like, I know that He's there. That promise really came to light in treatment this past January and February. I was in this small little inpatient house that was not much bigger than this room, honestly, and there was about 6 of us there. And so just to see the way He worked in those 5-6 months I was in treatment was amazing. Before going, I had kind of lost hope in getting better, because it just seemed like history was repeating itself. But just seeing all of the signs that he kept giving us, whether it be through verses or worship songs at church, was just amazing, and I'm so glad that I got to go through it with some of the best girls and keep track of it all in my journal that I brought and everything. I would say keep waiting. I promise that it is going to happen. I was diagnosed when I was 13, and that promise didn't show up until I was 19, which was 6 years later, and I thought that it wasn't ever going to happen, but I know that it will, and I know that our God is bigger than any struggle you can go through, and just keep pushing through because He's there and He wants everything good for you in this world.